into the chat, and we are going to send you the FDN Healing Diet Guide. Welcome to the Real Results Show, where we share real results from real health coaches getting real results for themselves and their clients. My name is Piper Gibson. I am the Director of Course Enrollment, and I am super excited to have with me Rebecca Kyle. She is a good friend and colleague. We had tech issues last time, so hopefully this time we're golden. Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm good. Good. I'm excited that you could come back for the remix.
Yeah, I know. Well, the first time, we needed a second round. So
we did, especially since we already had tech issues today. So we're good. So let's just dig in. I would love to know, what prompted you to become an FDN?
Well, I think it's actually a very common thing among us health coaches is that I had my own health journey that I dealt with for a long time. Pretty much since a child, my immune system had a lot of problems. And then as a young adult, I had a lot of gut issues and adrenal issues, and attempted the traditional route and didn't really get a whole lot of help or relief. And what ended up helping me was more the functional route. And I made huge leaps and bounds in a short amount of time going that way. And it just made me want to help other people who maybe had similar experiences, and we're missing out on the hope that is there. And so I just decided, you know what, I want to help people just like other people helped me. And I'm just fascinated by it as well. I could learn about this stuff all day long. I just was researching and learning on my own so much that I thought, you know, what am I doing? I want to make a career out of this.
So did you just like Google search, or how did you find FDN?
So I'm really good friends from college, actually, with the owner of Maximize Genetics or MaxGen Labs. And she, knowing my interest in functional health, invited me to the first FDN conference to be a part of her booth she was hosting there. And I thought, hey, that'll be a lot of fun. Granted, I had my 4-month-old baby in tow, so it made it very interesting. But I just fell in love with the whole FDN point of view of connecting dots and building up the entire body. And I just fell in love with it and knew without a doubt after that conference that it was something that I wanted to pursue.
So awesome. If you guys are just joining us, I have Rebecca Kyle with me. We are talking about eating clean outside the box. So this is going to be a great topic. If you're just joining us, drop the word eat into the chat and we are going to send you our healing diet guide. So tell me, when did you graduate? How long did it take you to complete the course?
I graduated in mid-December. It took me about 6 months to work the course. I was very consistent in my studies and in my practicals, and had a very big goal in sight of wanting to finish by the end of the year to be able to launch in January. And it was not always easy. In fact, it mostly wasn't easy with having a baby at home, and trying to work my other business that I have. But my family was very supportive, and I just dug my heels in and loved every second of the learning. The hard part was finding the time, but thankfully this last kiddo takes really great naps. So I utilized his nap time. I went to the YMCA, checked him into Child Watch, and used that time to study. Just like every spare moment I could find, I wanted to get through the program and start. I didn't want to be in school forever. I was so ready to just get going on this.
That totally resonates with me. Very similar. And I was like, I'm going to launch this business in January.
Yeah, it just seems like the perfect time. You know, people are coming off the holidays. Mm-hmm. They're ready to make some changes. They're motivated. They're kind of probably feeling a little heavy and slow from eating and drinking things that maybe they wouldn't normally. And it's the perfect time. I think. Well, any time is the perfect time. There's no non-perfect time.
That's true. You know what? Now is the perfect time too, because yes, we get all crazy during the holidays, but I think so many people are getting crazy right now, eating and drinking and just like having the comfort. So now's perfect too.
I hear it's called, instead of, the freshman 15, I hear it's called the quarantine 19.
The quarantine 19. Mm-hmm. I've heard that, and I'm being very cautious there, I will tell you. So how are you building your business? What are you doing?
So, right now, it's multiple ways. I'm using social media a lot. I do a lot of live videos. I share my own test results. I share my own story. I've gotten some really great testimonials from my clients that have already gone through my programs. And I've had multiple other businesses. I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur, but I've always used word of mouth as a huge way to spread my business because it's authentic and it's real. And so I've already gotten several clients because of my other clients. They've talked me up. And I think that's huge. But I really feel like utilizing live videos on social media, people want a face to their practitioner, and they want to know that you've not necessarily been in their shoes, because no one's been in exactly someone else's shoes, but I know what it feels like to be so tired you can't get out of bed. I know what it feels like to have years of gut dysfunction you can't figure out. I know what it feels like to be anxious and depressed and overwhelmed and be inflamed. Like, I know what that feels like. And so part of, I think, what helps is just sharing your own story, because people connect to that and people want someone who gets it. And live videos are the perfect way to do that. And so I tend to utilize Facebook more than Instagram. I'm not very Instagram savvy, but I think just sharing your message and adding value and trying to share information for the masses that could be helpful for anyone, whether you're my client or not. You never know. When I watch other people's live videos, I get so many little nuggets, and they weren't even necessarily talking to me, just in general. But I think just adding value to people's lives.
So I know that you are actually on your own adventure still doing some testing. So let's talk a little bit about how the lab testing and the FDN approach has either helped you solve your case or work on your case, or that of your clients.
Well, that was one of the main things that drew me to FDN was the lab testing, because I wanted the data. I had used myself as a science experiment for years of doing different elimination diets and trying this and trying that. And I just was ready for data. And I think everyone gets to the point where they're ready for the information. And so the test results for me, and being able to correlate that back to years of health history, years of health issues, and connect the dots has been incredible. I finally, I feel like I make sense for the first time. My health makes sense for the first time, having gotten my labs back and being able to connect those dots and be like, oh, this is connected to that, and everything. I have a lot of metabolic chaos going on, and it's just, one, fascinating because I'm a science nerd, and two, it gives you the data to be able to move forward, to have those specific data points to me. I just recently did the GI map. It's just so fascinating what's going on in my gut. Not like, ooh, I have these issues and then I have those issues, but like, oh, I have this going on in my microbiome and I have this digestive marker. And it just helps you make sense of everything and really be able to formulate a health rebuilding plan to move forward with rebuilding all of your systems and bringing the body back into balance.
The GI map is one of the awesome tests that FDN just added to the course. So now people who are going through the course get to GI map test themselves. So I think that's super awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, and this is kind of how we've become friends, but how has the FDN community supported you and your business and your health endeavors?
I just feel like the FDN community is rare. I feel like we're family, and everyone is so supportive. And what I love is so many of us come from completely different backgrounds. So we have all of that group knowledge that we use to support each other. And I really believe that this is one of the rare communities where we're not like clawing to get up to the top and pushing people away. Like everyone, especially in the postgraduate organization, is so helpful and kind and really and truly want everyone else to succeed. You know, we're not people aren't withholding ideas or information so that they can climb higher and you can stay here. Everyone wants each other to kind of climb together. And it's just refreshing, and I feel like really pretty rare. I mean, like when I told you about my book that I'd written, you jumped all over that, and you're like, "Yeah, let's figure out how to get this out there and share." And we hadn't even known each other very long. Just how welcoming and overwhelmed I felt, almost overwhelmed by it, because you just wanted to help me, and were willing to just jump in and put yourself out there, and it's an amazing community.
Well, and I think that what you've created is awesome. So Rebecca has written an ebook that she uses to help her clients, and it's really just an awesome way for her to have an easy process for her clients. So of course, I wanted to jump in and be like, "Ooh, I love this." Was awesome. So, do you have a niche or ideal client?
You know, I'm still figuring that out. I'm so interested in everything right now, and I think that's pretty normal for the early stages of your business. Um, I tend to gravitate more towards moms with young children because that's the stage of life I'm in. That being said, I have clients who's retired and male. I have a couple of kids on my client base. It just depends, but I think I'm connected more um, with that demographic. You know, the moms or the postpartum, since I just have a 2-year old. Um, but I really understand the fatigue of being a mom of young children, and not, especially, post baby, your hormones or your adrenals, or your gut gets messed up. There's just so much involved in supporting a mother with young children, and what that means, and so that's what I gravitate towards. But at this point, I'm still interested in everything. And the interesting thing is, no matter what the demographic is, there's connected underlying threads with everyone. There's some there's stress. There's oftentimes gut issues. Everybody could use a little help with their gut. They could everyone could use more energy. Everyone could use better sleep. So there's that connectedness in it as well.
100%. That is true. Let's talk a little bit about what you like to start off teaching your clients, which is clean eating outside of the box, and why that's important.
Yeah, I mean, if you there's a saying in FDN that I love, that you can't supplement your way out of a bad diet. I mean, I think people want that magic pill, that magic potion. Like, if I just take this, then I can do what I want and I don't have to address lifestyle. But that's not reality. I mean, maybe if it's the best supplement in the whole world, it'll perk you up for a little while, but long term, it's not going to get you the results you need. So to me, everything starts with your diet. And it can be really overwhelming when you eat the standard American diet, when you're used to eating convenience foods, and you're used to dumping out the box and mixing 2 ingredients in, and there's dinner, or whatnot. And so it can seem extremely overwhelming if you're trying to transition from that to eating whole foods, unprocessed, clean ingredients. Maybe you don't even know what a clean ingredient is, or where do you find them at the grocery store, or how do I menu plan? How do I read a label? I don't know what this label means. And so I created a 4-week step-by-step program to take my clients through that process, so that they're successful. They have a step-by-step, week-by-week process that teaches them how to make that transition. And I feel like it helps people be successful long term, because then they even will refer back to it. I'm not sure I like monthly menu planning. I'm going to try the weekly menu planning. How did she say how to do that? I have clients that use it as a tool, or in the book, I have listed about 10 of my favorite clean eating recipe websites. What was that website you used? So it's really a tool to use lifelong for my clients. I feel like it just helps them. It takes the overwhelmness out. It takes the fear out. It takes the guesswork out of making the transition to clean eating. Because if you're eating a bunch of junk, you're not gonna feel better long term.
And I think it's a great step for the dress protocol. And FDN, we teach diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplementation. So you're working really hard in that first step, address the diet protocol.
And it's not something that you can just change overnight. Like if I asked a client to go from processed eating convenience food to clean whole foods in like a week, they would laugh in my face and they would fire me. So having something that is more of a long-term process and taking it in manageable chunks, I think just is a helpful thing. And I'm still working on my own transition because I'm still figuring out all the foods that don't work well for me. And I think we're all going to be on that transition because, life happens. And so let's say you have a really stressful event in your life and that messes up your gut, and then you think, why aren't the things I used to eat aren't working for me anymore? So let's figure this out. So I feel like, it's kind of a lifelong process, but the ebook I wrote just helps with that initial massive transition.
I agree. It's totally a lifelong process. Like, I am by no means perfect. I am always a work in progress. And, sometimes I'm great and sometimes I'm not great, but I need those tools. And that's the great thing about FDN is that I know those tools. I can teach my client those tools and we can get back on the wagon.
Yeah.
For sure. So how do you work? Do you work part-time, full-time, in person, virtual? What's your game plan?
I work probably about 30 hours a week. Again, I still utilize the baby's nap time. Right now, it's gotten a little complicated with distance learning because my 9-year-old and 7-year-old are home. So I do school with them in the morning. So my technical work hours are 1 to 5. And I do that Monday through Friday and then either work probably Saturdays. Oh, last weekend I took a whole weekend off. It was glorious. But just depending on what I've got going on, I tend to throw in a Saturday or Sunday afternoon as well. And just utilize that nap time and try to get my clients what they need. Now, sometimes I will have an evening call or a random morning call, and we'll figure that out. But so I would say I'm part-time now. And then once but my goal is to build up my business over the next 3 years. And then when my youngest is in kindergarten, bust it out full time.
Awesome. So people that are watching, if they're interested in working with you or finding out more, how can they get in touch with you? Website, social media?
Yeah, my website or my brand is Holistic Obsession. And my website is holisticobsession.com. On the website, you can find all sorts of information about the services I offer, my blog, recipes, all kinds of stuff. As well as you can actually buy my ebook on there as well. You can find me on Facebook at Holistic Obsession is my handle, and then on Instagram at My Holistic Obsession, since somebody already took Holistic Obsession who doesn't even use it, but that's okay. You can shoot me an email at myholisticobsession@gmail.com. But all that information you can find easily on my Facebook page and my website.
Do you have a number one tip, tool, or resource, maybe a piece of information that you learned from FDN that made all the difference in your personal health or health as a professional in order to get real results?
I think, like I said last time, is you got to be honest with yourself. You may think you're eating healthy, but then when you stop and actually really go back and what did you actually eat this week? Or you may think that you're not stressed out, but when you really evaluate it, what is your stress level between 1 and 10, and what are your stress triggers? And are you doing anything about them? I mean, I think that what FDN taught, one of the main things that FDN taught me was how detrimental all different forms of stress are to your health, external stressors, internal stressors, and that, sometimes you can't you can't lower some of that external stressors if you're stuck in a very high stress job, or maybe it's a relationship that you're really struggling with. But you certainly can manage those internal stressors, and we can get your gut function going, and we can get your adrenal health better. We can get you resting. There's a lot you can do. There's just a lot you can do, even if there's a couple things that are a struggle to manage and to make positive change with. When you're building up those internal systems, everything's gonna get better.
Do you have a piece of advice you'd like to share with health coaches and professionals who might be watching us right now?
Yes. If you are interested in health coaching at all, one, FDN is the best program. You don't have to have a background in health and wellness. I mean, I had my own health journey, but I was an elementary school teacher and a photographer. I'm still a photographer, not a teacher anymore. And so that's the beauty of FDN, is it teaches you the methodology. It gives you the business tools. It gives you the science. It gives you the perfect schooling. It gives you practice in a low stress environment. If there's ever been a time to enter the field of health coaching, it's now, because FDN also teaches you. It taught us to be virtual before virtual was cool. Totally. And so I felt like I was a kind of ahead of the game, because my practice is already 90% virtual. And so it really gives you all the tools to be able to have a successful, thriving health coaching business. And the best part about the schooling is that, you do it on your time. You don't have to finish in 6 months. Do you want to finish in 2 months? Go for it. Do you want to take a year? Go for it. You can do it on your time with what works for you and your family. But I would just say that if you're even thinking about it, dive into the curriculum, talk to Piper, because to me, FDN is the best health coaching program out there. And if you get into this field right now, it's just going to grow. I feel like we're still very ground floor when it comes to functional health coaching and our methodology, and that there's nowhere to go but up, especially after all of this COVID stuff. People, I think, for the first time in a very long time, are extremely interested in their personal health, extremely. And how do I achieve my best health? How do I support my immune system? What can I do? So I feel like just go for it and position yourself for a wild, amazing ride of helping people and being extremely successful.
Yep. I totally. Yes. Do you have a tip or anything that you would like to share with people out there who are really struggling to get their own results?
Don't give up. And maybe you just haven't met the right practitioner yet. I personally struggled for years and hopped around because I feel like some of them didn't even believe me. I know what it's like when your doctor or your practitioner thinks you're making up your symptoms, and you're like, no, you don't understand. I feel terrible. I know what it's like to try to manage your own systems and figure it out. But really, oftentimes you just haven't met the right person yet. So I would say don't give up. There's always hope. And that keep searching until you find someone. And if I were you, I'd find myself an FDN practitioner because what we do works. The methodology we use is amazing. And just don't give up hope is all I can say. Keep going. I feel like some people are like, well, I already feel bad, so might as well eat this box of chocolate or drink this bottle of wine because I already feel bad. So what's a little bit worse? No, don't go down that slope. It's easy to get in that frame of mind, but there's always something that you can do to help your health.
And you can also actually take the FDN course to work on yourself. So maybe you're not out for a career change or, the big whole shebang, but you just feel terrible. You can take the FDN course, work on yourself, do the lab testing in the course, and really get some good answers and good direction on how to improve your health.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I was so excited about, was myself and my family and my friends. because, we've all been dealing with stuff. And finally, I had the tool set and the skill set to be able to do something about it. And that just felt amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Rebecca, thank you so much for being on the show today to share your insights and how to get those long-term results. Tell us one more time how the audience can get in touch with you.
So you can find my office number as well as my email on my website, holisticobsession.com. There is a menu tab that says health coaching. Just find that and you'll find my contact information. And if you're interested in learning more, your initial consult is free, where we just get to chit chat about what you've got going on and how I might be able to help you. So, pretty low stress. I would love to help anyone feel their best, as well as if anyone's interested in the FDN program, I'd love to chat with you about it. It's been life-changing for me. So
that's so awesome. Thank you again for joining me. And if you out there are ready to become a true health detective so you can help others or yourself on a deeper level, you can schedule a call with one of our FDN Course counselors. So myself, Jess, or Kelly at functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com/counselor. Or if you're ready to enroll, you can do that at functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com/FBLive. And thank you guys for joining us for the Real Results Show. We will be back here same time, same place next week. And don't forget, if you're watching the replay, drop the word EAT into the chat and we are going to send you our healing diet guide. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you again, Rebecca.
Thanks, Piper.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.